Here's another example of solving linear equations. This time there's all kinds of crazy letters running around. So this is a good time to remind ourselves that if we're not sure what to do, when there seems like there's too many letters in a problem, we can always back off and ask ourselves, what would we do if all of the letters that are causing us issues were numbers? So in this case, notice that we're trying to solve for the variable q. And the q is right there. So it's all the rest of this that seems crazy because they're letters. So what if this question instead said to solve 17 equals 11 over q? That really is the same kind of equation that we have here as far as q is concerned. There is no q anywhere else in the problem. It's just in the denominator of that fraction. So let's talk about how we would solve this problem. In order to isolate the q, which is what we are trying to do here, we have a fraction with a q in the denominator, and so we might multiply both sides by q. The reason for doing that, like we saw before, is that when I multiply a fraction with the denominator q times q, then those things will cancel out. And so this equation is the same thing as saying 17 times q equals 11, and then I can divide both sides by 17 and get q equals 11 over 17. So if I take that as a strategy and bring it over to the problem that I'm solving here, I'm starting off with f equals ky squared over q. My first step here was to multiply both sides by q. So I can do the same thing here. So f times q is ky squared over q times q. I've multiplied both sides of this equation by q. Just like here, I multiply both sides of this equation by q. The reason for doing that was that I got to cancel a q that I'm multiplying by with the q that's in the denominator. So I should be able to do the same thing here. Here's the q I'm multiplying by, there's a q in the denominator. So I'll have f times q equals ky squared. So multiplying on both sides by the denominator of the fraction in the problem will clear the denominator. And so finally, what I did here, I had this equation, and so to find q by itself, I divided both sides by 17. So here, I can divide both sides by f. And if I do that, I'll have q equals ky squared over f. And that will be because I've now isolated the q on one side of the equation, that will be the solution to the equation. So if you type ky squared divided by f into that box, that'll be the correct answer to this problem.